All right, let's see. You are our last hope. No, too cocky. What about, you are our last hope? No, that doesn't feel right either. Okay, what about, let's try, you are our last hope. Hi, didn't see there. Don't mind me. I was just practicing. You know, once we get to the study room, we're probably gonna have to sweet talk those Crimson Wardens into letting us use their grapples. So figured I'd start practicing now. Listen to this. How does it sound? If only someone would take pity on us poor orphans and allow us to use their grapples that we might climb this wall and be reunited with our family. How's that? Okay. I'm gonna pretend like you didn't just say that. Anyway, this has to work. It has to work. I don't think you understand. I have to secure my place here. I can't go back. They'll come after me. I can't go back into hiding. I can't go back on the run again. This new identity has got to stick. It has to work. Kidding. That was actually a scene from a performance that I did years ago. Fooled you, didn't I? I told you I was good. Anyway, why are you here again? Oh, yes. The book. No, yeah. I totally can show you the book. But I thought that maybe you might actually be more interested in this super top secret list of books, huh? You know, I don't just trust anyone to see this list. 1 second. You are very lucky. Only very important people have access to this list. Information, okay? Top secret. Are you sure that I can trust you with this? Okay? But you have to promise that what I'm about to reveal to you, you will guard it with your life. Hello and welcome back. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, we are back with another TBR video. Better late than never. If you couldn't already tell from the thumbnail or the title, I am participating in Fablen, which is a D&D themed readathon that was created by Margaret from The Word Nerd. And I am one of the co-hosts for the Golden Ruins team. So my character is a changeling. My occupation is a charlatan, and my weapon of choice is a staff. So for this, I purposefully chose a bunch of books that were like mystery, thriller, suspense type books, so that no matter what I read, I'll hopefully get bonus points for my species. And then I also try to make sure that most of the books that I chose also have words in the title that will fit for my occupation of a charlatan. And the majority of these books I plan to get from Libby, so even more bonus points for my weapon. So I'll start with the first book that I decided to read for the readathon, and that is Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. This is a fantasy, but also Goodreads classifies it as horror as well, so that works for me. It is an LGBTQ vampire story, and these vampires have lots of secrets. They all have their own hidden agendas. There's also a lost heir and a serial killer on the loose, who our characters are trying to solve the mystery of. This will work for my occupation prompt as well because of lies, and I will be using this to hack through the vines in Act 1. Next is Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. I have been wanting to pick this book up since the beginning of the year. I read her first 2 books and enjoyed them, so I definitely wanted to read this one, but the timing just never really worked out. But now, perfect timing. Again, another one for my occupation. Because luck, and I'll be using this to swing with the Mage Light in Act 2. I don't quite remember what this book was about, but I think it has to do with like these 2 girls who like go to college together and they're roommates, and maybe one of them goes missing or dies or something. Maybe one of them goes missing. I think there's like another guy who's like maybe part of a fraternity or something. He turns up dead. And so some kind of way there's a mystery. That was a terrible explanation or synopsis of this book, but I like to go into book blinds. If you're new here, welcome. I like to go into book blinds, and oftentimes when I pick up books, they are books that I scanned or, vetted originally, but that was probably months ago, and now I have no memory of what it's about, and that makes it more fun for me. The next book I actually wanted to read last month for the Mystic Readathon, but I just didn't get around to it, and that is So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. Don't remember at all what this book is about, besides like vampires, but the cover looks amazing. And I'm sure at some point I read the synopsis, and whatever it said, it must have sounded good, so This is apparently horror, which I don't read a lot of, but it works for my species. Also, this book technically has wings on the cover, so I will be able to use this to cast the fly spell in Act 2. I'll also mention here, as far as books that I actually am like pretty confident that I'll be reading this month, I plan on buddy reading Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton with Donna, and I'm not sure if it's going to fit any of my like regular prompts, like my species or my weapon or my occupation. But if it doesn't fit any of those, which I don't think it does, and it also ends up not meeting any of the prompts for any of the encounter solutions, then I'll probably just use it as a side quest. Oh, nice timepiece. This will look good on me. Oh, is it my line? Hit that thumbs up, like the video if you are enjoying it, and subscribe for more. How's that? All right, awesome. Oh no, this is mine. Yeah, no, I brought this with me. You've probably never seen me wear it, but yeah, it's totally mine. It's mine. So the rest of these are purely possibilities. So depending on whether or not these fit the encounter prompts will basically determine which ones of these I actually read. So for my occupation of charlatan, one of the words is shadow. And so there's The Shadow Between Us by Trisha Levenseller and also The Sanctuary of the Shadow by Aurora Asher. Both of these are fantasies, but that's about all I know about them. I actually own The Sanctuary of Shadows. It was an impulse buy because the edges were really pretty. The other word that we have is dark. So I have Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton and Immortal Dark by a name that I don't know how to pronounce. Devil in the Dark Water is a mystery thriller, so bonus points there. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle is one of my favorite books, so I have definitely been wanting to pick up more of Stuart Turton's books to see if I like those as much as I like the 7.5 Deaths. So very excited to hopefully be able to get to Devil in the Dark Water because I've had that on my TBR for a while now. And then Immortal Dark was also another impulse buy that I bought because of the edges. Another one of our words is lie, and I already talked about Mistress of Lies. So I have Where Sleeping Girls Lie by an author whose name I am not going to attempt to pronounce in an effort to avoid butchering it. But I wanted to read this earlier in the year because Princess's Book Club read this book, but I just have had a lot going on all year before all the house stuff, so I did not have time to read it at the time that they read it, but I definitely want to read it, so hopefully I'll be able to fit that in this month. We also have murder as one of our words for charlatan, and so How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin, I think is the author. This is another book that I wanted to read last month for the Mystic Readathon. It was one of the poll picks, but unfortunately it did not win, so it is back in the rotation, and Danny and Leandra and I are planning to buddy read this month, so that'll work out even better. I'm pretty sure there's some type of bonus. I don't know if it's a side quest or if it's like a bonus or something, but I'm pretty sure you get something for doing buddy reads. So hopefully I'll be able to get those points on top of the fact that it has murder in the title. It also is a mystery thriller, and I'll be borrowing this from my library. So lots of bonus points there for that book. Secret is also one of the charlatan's words. So I have The Secret Circle by L.J. Smith, and this is a series that I've been trying to finish for quite some time. So this will be the perfect opportunity for me to try to get through that series since there are multiple books in this series. They're all part of Secret Circle. So that'll be, I can just kind of roll through that series and maybe rack up some points that way depending on whether or not those fit prompts. And then the last word that I will probably be trying to incorporate into titles is thief, and that would be Little Thieves by Margaret Owens. And this is a book that I didn't even know existed until last year when Margaret actually told me about this, and I have no memory of what she said the book was about, but I know it's one of her favorites. I know that it's one of Leandra's favorites, and I remember Margaret telling me that this was one of, I guess, the few fantasy books that actually has good ace representation, and so that was enough to sell me on it, and it has been on my TBR ever since. So this might be the perfect opportunity. Like, I can't think of a better time to read this book than to read it during Margaret's readathon. Since the readathon has already started and we're already almost a week into October, I figured giving you guys like a formal TBR video where like I sit down, like give you a synopsis of all the books, especially when I don't really know what most of them are about, would not be the most productive use of my time or yours. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of short video that just kind of goes through the books that are on my radar, my pile of possibilities, and what I will kind of be picking throughout the month, depending on what the prompts are. So yeah, those are all the books at this point that I have on my list on my radar for possibilities for the Fablen Readathon. Hopefully you were able to get some recommendations out of this, some books that may fit prompts along the way, especially if you are a changeling or a charlatan or have chosen the staff as your weapon. I'll also mention here that I will be participating in Paco's Spooktacular Bingo board where I can, so I will have the information for that readathon linked down below as well. But otherwise, that is it for me. Those are all the books that I plan to be choosing from throughout the month. There may be some other that I kind of pick up unexpectedly depending on what happens throughout this game. But other than that, that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and got some good recommendations out of this. Got some ideas maybe of books that maybe weren't on your radar that could be helpful for you depending on what your character is and what the prompts are that dropped. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are not already subscribed, and hit that bell so that you are notified every time I post a video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.